Hi, everyone. It's Monday. Here are the tips and tricks of the week. You're working on essay number one, and you're only going to submit what you want. I'm completely open to this. Remember that assignments, you can get full credit for them for simply following the instructions and doing them. This is just a chance for you to get some feedback on a paragraph or two. You direct me where you'd like me to, what you'd like me to comment on. I do want to make the point that when you get full credit for an assignment, it isn't the same as getting an A on an essay. And I often write comments about the writing in Canvas, and hopefully you're looking at those just for help. But it's not graded in the same way that essays are. So if you see that you've done all the submissions so far and you've got an A, just remember, we're about to do our essay, and that is graded on a rubric 1 to 6. And I'm sending the rubric to you. It's available. So just so you know, there's plenty of time between now and next week to be working on the final draft. The Writing Center, Holly, the tutor, she's ready to help out. And I want to show you a couple of things. Oops. This is the assignment, and if you go to all the instructions, you can see everything that is on here for essay number one. And you'll see, if you're paying attention, a lot of this is repeated. That's repeating. I'm repeating myself. Oh, the double spaced, it comes up a lot from olden times. I'm saying that that's optional. Okay. 1-inch margins, 12-point font is good so that I can read it, and include a works cited. I'm not going to go through all the instructions with you. You're going to be doing that, but all of these have links that you can click on just to remind yourself how you do it. And you'll recognize those instructions from the assignments that you've done. So you've done introductions, you've done summary, and you've studied analysis paragraphs. So theoretically, you've got all the components, and you can use any of the writings that you've done, but I would encourage you greatly to revise them and get them completely up to snuff. Okay, so and here the essay number one examples. What I wanted to convey to you today is that the best way to go about this is to try to write based on all that you've learned so far. Just begin writing and struggle, feel the pain. It's like going to the gym. It's going to hurt a little, people. I won't lie to you. And when you're kind of in that grip of that, how do I do this? What is this? What's going on? Then you go look at the samples. Okay. So you look them up. And you read through them, and you'll see they have an introduction, and they have a summary of the text that blends paraphrase and quotation. And these are all papers that got an A, so you can see that these essays have command of the content, and they offer original analysis and specific examples, and they're kind of fun to read. They're interesting. So that's there for you. And like I said, it only makes sense when you struggle a little bit. Here's a list of the texts that you can choose from, but you can pick some other ones that are in the reading module, which is, I'm going to shift over to that right now. But before I do that, don't use you. Don't use says or talks about. And I've been commenting to you individually all along. So hopefully, and I do have a record of me writing that to you. So make sure you're ironing out those little glitches. And you have a word bank you can access to get all different words for suggests, recounts, narrates, tells, objects to. I mean, there's a million of them. Don't put the author's name in parentheses at the end of a sentence. That suggests that you're not really following the idea of what's going on here, because it's integrated into the sentence what the source is. So there would be no need to put any sort of parentheses at the end. Again, that is reserved for juggling many sources and like that. But we're not doing that. We're just a single source should be clear. The outline, very, very basic. Intro, summary, single point analysis paragraph. Single point analysis paragraph, conclusion. And again, look at this. I'm describing every paragraph. If you want this level of detail, and this is the only instructions for the conclusions. Don't write in conclusion, and don't just repeat what you've said originally. That's an idea that floats around high schools, I think, for a while. Like you're just going to repeat everything that you've said. Here we point to something different. Anyway, so that's that. But what I do want to show you, I want to shift over to the modules. Okay, so here's you, you're working, and then there's your final exam, you're done. Below that, there's some things you should be accessing. You can look at the essay assignments. You can even see what the research paper instructions are at this point. The research paper, think of it as a multiple source using version of the paper you're doing now. But it's a little bit more informative, and but it does follow the same principles. So there's essay one, and the second essay is a narrative, so we'll talk about that later. Anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. Example essays. Look at all of these examples. Okay, so before you think, oh, I don't know what's going on, some of these don't pertain to you. You can see they're not published because it was a different kind of an essay, but you got research papers, you have essay number one. So I've just sort of peppered the assignment and the Canvas shell with examples that you can hang your hat on. Okay. Rubrics. So make sure that you understand what the criteria for grading is. Like I said, you may have an A so far, not because of the quality of the writing. That's not being assessed. It's just, are you doing the assignment? Did you do the assignment correctly? That sort of thing. And a chance for me to give you feedback with any sort of penalty for you. Anyways, so that's that. Okay, so there we go. That's it. You've got a lot of time, so just direct me to what you want to do. I'm super lenient on how much of you want to submit. You can write out your ideas. If you have an idea for an analysis paragraph that you're not sure will work, or an example you're not sure works, go ahead and write it up however you see fit, and I'll give you some feedback on it. Okay, so again, avail yourself of Holly the Tutor, the Writing Center. All kinds of help and assistance is available as we march forward. Read your work out loud to a friend. Get other people to take another look at it. Always be revising. Always be rereading what you've written. If you just hate it so much, you write it and you want it to get away, it won't work out. It won't end well. You've got to kind of face the music and reread what you've written and make sure that it's logically sequenced and the sentences one to the next make sense in sequence. Okay, so there we have it. And pay attention to any comments I've made along the way about punctuation even. Talks about, I've given you feedback already. It's just up to you to be accessing that feedback on Canvas. All right. So good luck. And, I look forward to your lively examples of all kinds of things and brilliant ideas.